Welcome to episode 50. We could not do this without asking the main person, Carmen Reese, to grace us basically to do an episode. So I'm really happy to finally get her on this show. So Carmen, tell them about yourself, where you're from, what do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am born and raised in Austin, Texas, and that is currently where I live, sell real estate, and enjoy life. So I see myself being here for as long as I can foresee, maybe till retirement.
Well, that's gonna be a long time from now. You're like 22, right?
Yeah, I got a little ways ahead of me.
All right. Now talk to us. How long have you been doing real estate?
And so I got licensed 7 years ago. I was the first one of myself and my husband to get licensed. So he ended up getting his license about a year after me and transitioning to the real estate team we have here in Austin as well. So, to both of us, and we do have some support staff and another agent as well on our team.
So if somebody right now is in a situation now, like they're putting the house on the market and you're thinking, I want to go somewhere, but I don't know where to go. What could you tell them about your area that basically, hey, this might be the area just for you?
Yeah. So Austin, Texas, it's incredible. For instance, today it's, late February, 80-degree weather. So,
Say that one
if
more
we're
time, please. One more time.
it's 80 degrees. It's 80 degrees here in Austin, Texas today. So you can go to the lake, you can go to the trail, sun's shining. It's just the perfect day outside. I'd say about For me, I'd say 90% of the year. It does get a little bit toasty in the summers, but yeah, you live here long enough, you strategically know when to be inside and outside. So that is the the only thing that some folks do complain about is that we can't get 100+ degree weather in the summers.
As you're talking, I had to look at my phone to make sure what the temperature is here in New York currently. It is 41 degrees, and you have 80.
Yeah, if it gets
Okay.
to 30s, 40s here, it's like just wait a day. Everybody just stays inside until better, warmer weather is around, typically. So we don't have like, any kind of snow trucks or salt trucks or anything like that. But my husband's from Chicago, so have been up there and understand other climates, but Austin's just been home for me.
All right, I gotta ask the question. Since he's from Chicago originally, how is this
Yep.
transition from Chicago to where you're at right now? How did he
Well,
adjust?
it's been about a decade since he's lived in Texas, somewhere around there. It's kind of crazy to say. But yeah, it's been about a decade since he lived in Texas, and I'd say that he no longer can handle Chicago winter. I think it's something about your body, like it adapts. So now he gets cold here before I get cold. And I'm like, aren't you
Okay.
from Chicago?
So what's things to do if I decide, hey, I'm packing up my bags, I want to talk to Carmen about buying something or renting something or whatever the case may be. What's there for me?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the cool thing about Austin is there's a lot for everyone. So, we do have, we don't have beaches like California, right? But we do have some nice lakes. So if you like to go on the boat, if you like to fish, if you like just hang in the water, there's a lot of nice like, lakes and watering holes down here, as well as a lot of trails. So, for myself, I have two standard poodles, two dogs, and we like to, in our spare time, just kind of calm down and go by the trail, by the lake. So there's a lot of nature. I'd say there's a lot of nature. And then, of course, you have the city itself. So um, for Austin, what we're seeing is just a lot of young talent coming here. We have a big growing tech industry. And so you do see a lot of that young talent, which kind of keeps it as a great place economically for young folks to move. And then, of course, just with that ideal weather, we're seeing a lot of retirees as well coming from across the country to move in areas like Sun City where they can golf year round and just really enjoy everything that the outdoors has to offer at any time of the year.
All right, so talk to us about housing. What kind of housing can we get out in Austin?
Yeah. So we're seeing a lot of different styles, like from cottages to even like, mid-century modern, from your starter home all the way to home on a ton of property. You could be in the hill country, you could be in the city. So that's you could be a little bit in the country on the outskirts. There's like wine country as well. So I mean, whatever you want, it's pretty much here. You could be on a lake house. So there's a lot of options, and I really like that as well. So myself, I live in the hill country, but I was born kind of out further north in the suburbs. So family life, country living, lake life, city life, we've got it all. So
Can you give us like an idea price wise, based on what you can get for each one of those places you just mentioned?
yeah, absolutely. So I honestly like the price range here. You're looking at the median price range being somewhere between 400, 500,000 for your 3-bed, 2-bath house. Now that can go all the way up to the multi-millions if you go where like Matthew McConaughey lives, which is in hill country, like in Barton Creek area. You get closer to the city as well. You can see some really nice pockets, but you could also get a condo, very affordable, in the 200s or 300s, closer to the city. Or single family homes, depending on which neighborhood you're in. You could definitely, get in the 400, 500 price point.
All right, it's killing me not to say this, and I'm gonna do it anyway. All right, all right, all right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All
there's
right,
there's a lot of stars who have properties out here as well, so
all right.
you
So
got
people like
quite a
that.
few.
So could you tell us, basically, besides Matthew McConaughey, who else do you have living, calling Austin home?
Oh man. I know Frodo, I can't remember his actual name, but like from Lord of the Rings, he's got like
I think his name is Austin. Oh my God,
I
I,
cannot think of his name. If I hear it, I'll know it. I don't think
I,
it's Austin.
oh my
We've
God,
got
I can't think of his name. Continue.
we've got him. We've got, Elon Musk like is building his own little space country here in Austin or kind of to the east side. There's a lot. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head. Michael Dell's from here who started Dell Computers. He's been here forever. So there's a lot of different Dell campuses as well. But yeah, I'd say like there's hundreds of celebrities who have one of their properties here in Austin. We're also
Okay,
seeing a lot of the comedy scene come here
really?
as well. Yeah. So we've been starting to see that over the past couple of years.
All right, Frodo was Elijah Wood, I believe.
Elijah Wood, yes.
Yes, I almost got my nerd card revoked, but it was Elijah Wood. All right, so you're saying that there's a big comedy scene basically in Austin, Texas. You
Big
mentioned,
comedy scene,
okay,
big music scene. So it's always kind of had that live music capital of the world title, or at least that's what they say here.
well, yeah,
And then we have a lot of festivals and with the good nature or with the good weather and everything like that. We have festivals in the spring and the going into the winter. So there's
can
always
you,
seems to be something going on. And it's also kind of like a slower paced city. I think it's a good pace, but most people will stop and say hello. They'll smile at you. They'll let you, for the most part. They'll let you in if you're in traffic.
okay. Now you mentioned festivals. What festivals can we look at? Can we hear or expect if we're in that area?
Oh yeah, there's festivals I'd say every weekend, but some of the big music festivals are gonna be your ACL Fest, right? So that's usually in October, and then you also have South by Southwest. So
Okay.
that's coming up here in March. Typically it's in March, and usually there's a tech week the first week, and then the second week it's music week, but there's music throughout pretty much the whole month of March. You have celebrations of ACL Fests, and you'll see some big artists just pop up with a surprise concert as well.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool.
Who's the
I've had
most
some.
who's the most random person that you happen to be walking by like, oh my God, that's such and such.
Well, me personally, I'm more of an ACL girl than South by, or sorry, yeah, I'm more of an ACL girl than South by Southwest because ACL's in Zilker Park, and so they just have different stages set up there,
Mm,
and you just go to whichever stage inside the park that you want to see which artist is playing at the particular time. But there's multiple stages, multiple different styles of music at the same time across like this beautiful park with the background of the skyline. Um, But when it comes to South by Southwest, a lot of it's like centralized downtown. And me personally, I will go downtown, but I do not like to kind of be in crowds downtown.
Got you. Got you. I totally get you. As a New Yorker,
So,
I, I've done concerts, I've done the festivals. I'm 51 years old. I still go to festivals from time to time. It really depends
yeah,
on who the artist they have, what the lineup is. And sometimes I'm not really into the crowd, but I'm really into the music. So I'll find my little corner somewhere
right.
and vibe with the kids. And then I'm like, all right, it's time for me to go. It's 8 o'clock. It's time for me to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a blanket and lawn chair festival person.
Okay. All right. So literally, there is something for everyone. We talked about cost of living. Let's talk about cost of living.
Yeah,
We kind of mentioned it.
yeah.
We briefly touched on that. Um, are there condos, co-ops out in Austin, or are there mostly cottages, homes, one to four, 1 to 2 levels, 3 levels? What are we working with?
We're starting to see more 3 levels, which we hadn't seen. I'd say I hadn't seen the 3 levels until about 4 or 5 years ago. So we're starting to see more of those. Those are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of those 3 level condos in Houston because I lived in Houston just for a short stint of time after college. Was in like oil and gas industry prior to coming into real estate, and they had a lot of those, 3-story loft type layouts. So we didn't have a lot of those. We're seeing more of those pop up, which are really cool. Especially part of it too is that, hey, a developer can put more of those on a lot than he can
That's true.
single story or 2-story homes. So, yeah, we're seeing a lot of creativity around that when it comes to types of housing. But yeah, we got condos, townhomes, single family homes, again, like homes on land. We're seeing more of like, some of the California styles are kind of coming here because
Okay.
California is very tech heavy. So we did have an influx of Cali folks for a while, for a
Okay.
little while.
Yeah,
That's kind of slowed down. Yeah.
how much would you say basically like the first one that you mentioned, the 3 level, how much does that normally
Yeah.
go for?
Uh, well, it depends a lot on the square footage,
Okay.
but I'd say if you're looking at and these are nice, and most of them are new construction, are you looking at call like 2,500 square feet, a 3-story condo, really nice. This would be like luxury finish out for sure for the 3 stories. You're looking at about, call it 550, 600
Okay.
for your I'd say for the lower end of that. But again, those are really nice luxury. Anything that's 3-story, and that could go all the way up to, depending on where the view is, how close it is to town. That could go up to somewhere around $1 million.
Okay. And then you mentioned technology, you mentioned music. Um, People are looking for jobs if they're moving. Basically, what other industries are in Austin that they can probably get into, or if they're leaving, relocating here to go to Austin?
Yeah, so tech is a big one. We have Apple, Google, Verbo, Amazon. We have a lot of Facebook, Instagram, Canva. We have a lot of these companies here who've like kind of set their footprint here
Mm-hmm.
over the last few years, and a lot of these businesses have come to Austin because it's pretty cheap for them to operate with us not having any state tax here in Texas,
I'm glad
and also
I'm
just kind
glad you brought that up. Say that one more time, please.
There is no state tax or personal property tax, which I'd never even heard of personal property tax until my husband and I linked up. But there's not any state tax or personal property tax. Um, Personal property tax, my understanding is like if you buy a car, you have to pay an additional tax on that, which I've never heard of. But ultimately we do have property tax rates that are, call it, they've just reduced. Some of them are 1.7, 1.8%, but our average property tax is going to be 2% of the assessed value. So
Okay.
property taxes could be a little bit higher than other areas in the US, but you don't have that state tax or that personal property tax.
All right. The next subject is dear to my heart. We already know the question I'm gonna ask. It's about food. What is Austin, Texas known for food-wise, besides barbecue?
Ultimately, I'll say this: myself, my husband, we love to go out to a nice restaurant for, date night, but we do eat in a lot personally. I'd say that Texas has some really good breakfast tacos. So a lot of areas don't have breakfast tacos, but breakfast tacos are
Stop,
part of our
stop,
culture for sure.
stop. Rewind. If anybody knows me, knows I'm obsessed with tacos. Breakfast tacos? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, there's some amazing places. Shout out Taco Deli, my favorite personally. Um, but there's a lot of really cool food trucks as well that have, yeah, you can't touch those tacos. I can name them for you, but really any food truck that you walk up to here,
What is your
it's gonna be bomb.
what is your favorite breakfast taco? Is there a specific?
Man, I mean, Taco Deli has a full menu of breakfast tacos, so you could just kind of pick your poison that day. I usually like to go pretty traditional with it. So
Okay.
I'm like a bacon, egg, and cheese, a steak, egg, and cheese type of gal. There's some avocado, some pico on there, a little cheese, and I'm good.
I'm actually about to book my flight. Basically, I'm trying to think about another question to ask you. Well, we're talking about trails. We're talking about sports. People love sports. What is
Absolutely.
your area known for sports wise?
Well, our biggest thing is going to be Austin FC right now. So Austin FC soccer has a really big following for sure. It's been here for 3-4 years, somewhere around there. It feels like it's new, but that's actually brought a lot of interest to soccer, and a lot of folks here. You'll see the FC jerseys all around town, so it's pretty cool. And I've been to several of those games, and it's a great experience. I mean, I didn't know what was going on. I had the person next to me kind of telling me what everyone was upset about, but definitely a great, cool community wide support here for the Austin FC.
And who else do you have in Austin?
And we don't have like a NBA team or, NFL or anything like that. So Dallas Cowboys going to be kind of closest we had to that, and Houston, Texas, so Texans. So a lot of people are Cowboys fans here, and then there's people who've come here from all over the country. So
Yes, yes. What I found out while doing all these videos, there is a lot. I mean, a lot of Cowboy fans here in New York, and I keep
ah,
asking how and why. As a
yeah,
New Yorker, I don't get it. As I'm wearing my Yankees
yeah,
hat, they feel like I'm repping the Yankees pretty much everywhere I go. But I have
I
my
love
best
it.
friends basically are Cowboy fans. I keep asking how and why, and they tell me the stories. So look, I'm like, I don't get it. Anyway, look, everybody
Yeah.
likes what they like. It is what it is. Um,
Yeah, and then we have UT. So, I went to A&M, so I went to the rivalry school. So we have UT here in Austin, Texas A&M. So there's some pretty diehard fans on both ends of that spectrum.
yeah. Is there anything that we didn't discuss so far that you want to let people know that, hey, this is a hidden gem that you really need to take a look at this? Anything you want to add or share?
Yeah, I think the best thing, like I said, is that, in Austin, you just have a mix no matter, what your flavor is. So, I always kind of understand a little bit more about the families who are coming here. We do have a lot of um, just like medical professions that come here, really good opportunities for folks across the country who are looking to, who are doctors, who are looking to, get into even like Dell Children's is a big hospital here as well. Um, but I always try to see like what it is that they're really looking for in their community where they're coming from, because no matter if they are somebody who likes the nice views, or somebody who wants to be in a good school district a little bit on the outskirts, there's a lot of options pretty central to the town. So within 30-45 minutes, you can be across all the way across Austin. So yeah, it's got a little bit for everyone. So I'd encourage y'all to definitely visit. Might even be a good time to visit when it comes to be the winter. Because of
Okay.
course it's 80 degrees here now.
All right. My next question is: do you advise people if they're thinking about buying or renting and they don't know what they want to do yet? Do you advise them to come down for a weekend, take a look, and look at some rentals first, or do you have the consultation with them and walk us through the consultation?
Yeah, so I advise them to at least come by if they're coming from out of state. I advise them to at least come for a weekend and we'll just show them properties everywhere. But we do have that consultation to see what it is that's important to them. And then from there, I can usually narrow down some pockets that I know that they would likely be interested in. But yeah, just always say, like, come down, spend at least a weekend here. We do have clients too who will basically live in an Airbnb for a few weeks, kind of get their bearings so that they feel confident. And that's the most important thing to me, is that they feel confident and that they don't end up, getting here and saying, man, I really wish I lived in this particular location, right? I wish I lived in a more walkable community, or I wish I lived a little bit further out. So it's very important to do that research together and make sure that they feel, confident. So I always ask, hey, rate the home, location, from a 1 to 10, everything about it, 1 being imperfect, 10 being exactly what you're looking for. And from there, I can see where they are ranking certain neighborhoods or certain types of properties on that scale, and then bridge that gap to get them to a 9 or a 10. So that's the way that I usually operate. Try to keep it pretty simple, so that everyone is on the same page and using the same system.
I'm glad you mentioned the Airbnb thing, because that is important. It's pretty much you're getting a taste of life, of what it actually is to be authentically in that area, and you can make your own informed decision. Is this someplace I want to spend
Absolutely.
more time? And either this is going to be my forever home, this area is going to be my forever home, or depending on where you are in your stage in life, maybe buy something, rent it out, make it into an Airbnb, take that money, travel with that money, and basically have income coming from that. My other question, which is kind of my last question, what is the process? How long does it take? Like, if they identify a property with you, we like this area, we like this house, we want to put an offer. How long does the process take in Austin?
The process is typically 30 days. I mean, if they have cash, then you're looking at that can move quite a bit quicker. But usually, you're looking at about a 30-day close. And I'd say that most clients that we're working with are usually find the home that they're looking for. If they're diligently looking, they usually find that home within about 30 days as well. So about 30 days, find the home, 30 days to close. And, from the contract to or from closing to their first payment, we're also looking at about 60 days.
All right.
So they're able to start looking before their lease is up and have plenty of time to find exactly what they're looking for. But of course, we do have clients too who kind of like get their feet wet and take a little bit longer. But if they're diligent in hunting, they'll find exactly what they're looking for and have to have it.
Carmen, I'm glad we had this conversation. One thing I want to add to people who are in the position of selling and buying at the same time is very important, especially if you're going from state to state. Have the conversation with the listing agent that you hired and also the buying agent that you're working with, whether it's a buying agent or if you're working with someone, basically, let's say an investor or a contractor that's building or builder that's building a home. You have to have the conversation with everybody. Has to be in the same loop, because here in New York it takes a bit longer than 30 days to close. We're
Really?
looking at roughly 60, let's say 90 days to close. And that's if you
Interesting.
identify the property and you get a contract. And depending on with a condo or a co-op, that could be some more time, less time. It really depends. There's also different scenarios. If it's cash, if there's a grant involved, and there's different little things here and there that could snag stuff. And if the other people on the other side, if they're selling something to buy your property, it's all the daisy chain, it's all connected. So that's why I tell my clients, when you're selling and you're buying, who is it that you're working with on the other side? So that way we can coordinate everything. So that way you're not paying double, you're not paying mortgage over here and paying another mortgage over here. We would hate to see you, waste money. Also, we want to make sure you're happy and you're not. This is a stressful time when you're doing all this, and we want to take all the stress out of this. We can only do that if we have open communication with you, and you have open communication with us, and the other person on the other side. So it's all married together.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you mentioned that as well, because state to state, things are just so different. I don't know. Do y'all have an option period there? Just curious. Do you call it an option period?
No, it's we have something similar to what you're talking about, but it's called something completely different. But and like you said, state to state is different. We do the home inspection like right after the offer gets accepted. We do the home inspection. Do you guys do the home inspection once you're in contract or before? How does it work with you guys?
Yeah, we typically do it once we're under contract, but we're seeing a lot of folks as well doing kind of like pre-market inspections and, you know, just to get the process going quicker and so that the buyers feel confident, depending on the type of property, especially if it is a property that maybe is a little bit older, just knowing what's underneath the hood, so to speak, beforehand can help people make this decision a little bit quicker. But yeah, I mean, there's so many people who move here from out of state who have no idea what an option period is, no idea what option money is, and so, and a lot of other states, they have attorney. We don't have attorneys.
New York, we have attorneys. I think
Yeah.
downstate New York, we have attorneys. Upstate New York, I believe, is slightly
Okay.
different. But we do. There's a
Interesting.
contract. Well, no, actually, we get accepted offer, do the home inspection, and then get in the contract. Basically, if the person decides to move forward with it, you guys do it slightly different. So it is important to have the conversation with your realtor that you hired wherever you're selling your home, and the realtor that you're working with on the other side. So and let us communicate with each other as
Absolutely.
well. Carmen, I want to say thank you so much for your time. I don't want to take up too much. I know you're busy, and I appreciate you taking some time to talk with us. Anything else you want to tell the audience about Austin that we have not discussed?
I mean, it's a great place. Come see it for yourself. I'm always happy to show anybody around. Love this city so much, and I don't think I could fit everything that's great about it here in this time, but I really do appreciate you allowing me to share a little bit about my city, and it's always great to see you as well, whether it be here in Austin or at some other
Some other
conference
conference,
that
yeah.
we go to. Yeah.
All right. Well, I know
So,
you mentioned MBC. There's a lot more that we haven't discussed, so we're leaving a hook for them. So if you want to know more, you want to speak to Carmen about the rest of Austin, what Austin has to offer for you and your family, how can they reach you, Carmen?
yeah, absolutely. So, our team's called the CLR Sales Group. So the CLR Sales Group, that's Carmen and Lynn Reese. So that's our initials, myself and my husband. I'm on Instagram, close with CLR. So just close with CLR on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, Carmen Reese. Or you could give me a call, shoot me a text at 5. And if there's any other way that you want to communicate with me, I'm happy to communicate in whichever way is best for you guys.
All right. With that being said, I'm Evan Saint-Gerard, your New York agent here in Queens, Long Island, Brooklyn, the Bronx. If you have any needs facing when it comes to real estate buying, selling, or investing, you know how to reach us. You have questions, you want to sell your house here, you want to move out to there, wherever there is to you. That's the purpose of these videos, is to give you an idea, give you options, and we hope we gave you some nuggets that like we're planting seeds basically in your head. So definitely let's have a conversation. One last thing I want to say is pretty much for those of you who are purchasing and want to purchase investment properties, you might want to consider Austin as well. And Carmen
Absolutely.
can walk you through that whole process of what it's like to invest out there. And with that being said, I want to say thank you for watching. Leave your comments. If you have any questions or any scenarios that you have you want to discuss with us, you have our information, reach out to us. With that being said, peace out.